Hi, I've been just making short videos of some of my guitars. I've just been going through my Les Pauls, and so this is the last of the Gibson ones that I've got. I've got a nice Epiphone one to show as well, but I'll do that on another video. I talked on the video of my 1959 Murphy Lab relic that I recently thought about getting a greeny Les Paul. There's one for sale, or there was, it's sold now. It's the only one I could find in the UK, and it's a lot of money. It's about £4 less than a new one, but still it was a lot of money. So in the end, because my 59 and the greeny actually look very similar, I decided against it, and I bought this instead. So this is a 2025 Gibson Custom Murphy Lab light aged Beauty of the Burst page number 151 Les Paul in light T-burst. I mean, that's a lot to remember. Anyway, basically it's a Gibson Les Paul. It's an R0, so it's a 1960 reissue. And it is part of Gibson's Beauty of the Burst range. I don't know if anybody out there hasn't seen it or heard of the book. I have had the book for some years, and it documents with photos and text and interviews and stuff and information about the guitars. A lot, if not all of the, or certainly most of the bursts that are out there from 58 to 60. That is the range of the Gibson Burst guitars. So this one is based on page 1, the guitar on page 151. So the pickups are custom buckers, they're unpotted, but this one's got an uncovered pickup at the back. It's a double white, I guess, but it's actually cream because it's aged to look, because of the Murphy Lab. And I'm not a big one for naming guitars, or I never was, but during lockdown, I've said this on my other videos, during lockdown I was a bit bored, so I started thinking up names for some of my guitars. So I've continued that, and this one, I've only had it for a week or so, but I called it Double Cream for the reason that it's got the double cream pickup on it, and also Eric Clapton in 1960, when the band Cream formed, and Eric Clapton was part of that, he still had a 1960 Les Paul. It wasn't the one that he used on the Beano album, because that got nicked, but he did have a 1960 Les Paul. So because of the band Cream and the pickup, I've called it Double Cream. So I always thought it was a bit lame naming guitars, but I've sort of started it now, and I've sort of carried on with this one. But there we are. This is now this is Murphy Lab. It's light aged. So the ultralight age ones have really no marks on them, but they have sometimes quite a lot of lacquer checking. This one is light age, so it's got the lacquer checking, but it's also it's got some sort of dinks and donks here and there. They've done a brilliant job. The Murphy Lab, each year their relicing gets better. My 59 was a 2021, I've got a couple of 2022s, this was 2025, and I mean, just look at that. I know some people have a nosebleed if you talk about relicing or road worn or whatever, but I don't care. I haven't got enough miles left on the clock to buy guitars and wear them out on the road for 20 or 30 years, and I've always looked after my guitars anyway, but I just like the look of a worn or relic guitar. So people can think what they want, I don't care, it makes no difference to me. I can afford them, luckily, and I'm having them. So there we are, you can see that the aged parts, so it's an ABR 1 bridge like they all are, and yeah, aged custom bucker. It actually comes with the other pickup cover in the case, which I didn't realise until I got it, bought it new from Peach Guitars in Colchester in the UK. It was the only one they had, and I bought it and they sent it out to me, and yeah, so, and being Murphy Lab, it also, the finish is not dead shiny. You know, they actually don't go through the whole sort of polishing and buffing process, so the finishes are quite sort of a bit dull really. But there we are, and it's got Gibson tuners. A lot of people change Gibsons for Gotos or whatever else, Grovers, but these all come with Gibsons. It's got a nice dark red back. There's lacquer checking on the neck. It's very hard to catch it on a. This is just a phone camera. It's not brilliant, but it's a gorgeous back. I mean, it's just, if it had no relicking at all, it looks pretty nice. But there is, if you can get close up, there is some lacquer check and some like that on some wear on the edge. So Gibson have a range of 4 different types of relicking: ultra light, which is just basically lacquer checking; light, which is this, which has lacquer checking and also some bit of wear and tear; and then heavy, which has more of the same; and then ultra heavy, where it looks like it's been gigged every day for the last 60 odd years. So there we are. So I've got, that's the last of the bursts, and I've got a 56, 57, 58, 59 and 60 now. So other than getting maybe a 54, that's probably about it. The 55 is pretty much the same as 56 as far as I can tell. And I have got an Epiphone 54, or based on a 54. I've actually got the Epiphone Jeff Beck Oxblood, which is brilliant. So that kind of covers the 54 in a way. So anyway, there we are. That's that's a 2025 Gibson Custom Murphy Lab Beauty of the Burst, page 151, R0, or 1960 reissue. Cheers.